We are going to shift gears. We're going to be talking about Blizzard Entertainment, because it has a new president. Introducing Johanna Faries as the new president of Blizzard Entertainment. Dear Blizzard, that was my official first day with you all this February 5th. I want to let you know immediately that it is an honor to join you next week in this new capacity. I do so humbly and in awe of all that Blizzard stood for and delivered to the world over 30 years. I also bring some mixed emotion, the loss of a talented teammates. In recent days, it's hard to hold side by side with the immense excitement I feel about joining Blizzard and building momentum you've created for Blizzard's next chapter. And guys, if you're wondering, here is Joanna Faries. She is a woman of color. As everyone might be, I don't know why she chose the Lilith there. Is she comparing herself to the devil? I don't know. But onward. This is Joanna Faries. So immediately some people might thinking, woman of color. Like, whoa, here we go. And I tried to do some research on her, but we'll have Grummz here. He's a former lead for World of Warcraft, Harvard graduate with a history of marketing and executive functions, most notable for the NFL in 12 years, and no word on game of experience. Seems like zero. This won't be good for Blizzard's. Esports is dead, bro. I called it years ago. She is she has some experience being the commissioner for COD, Call of Duty, their league. So she worked in the NFL. She worked in this capacity. And over here, this is prior. This is some of her history. Prior to that, Faries led efforts to amplify its reach, relevance, and popularity with key fan segments as vice president on marketing and fan development, where her charter included growing the NFL's fan base in the near long term via priority assets, global partnerships, brand content marketing, tentpole events, which include the creation of NFL's My Cause, My Cleats initiative, record-setting evaluations of the NFL draft. In her last year, a company's very spearheaded developments of the league's social justice initiative. Working closely with owners, players, and third-party organizations, established a new foundation of collaboration and impact services to communities nationwide. Early in her tenure, she served as director of consumer products. Blah, 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 blah. Throughout her career, Faries has held executive positions in a broad range of diversity, inclusion, and career development and mentorship programs. Continues to do so as a senior leader advisor to Activision's African Americans, Black, and Friends Employee Network. So is she like a DEI baby? It kind of looks like it. Faries grew up in a multi-sport athlete in Potomac, Maryland, lived abroad in both Israel and the Dominican Republic, and also a singer-songwriter, and resides with husband in Los Angeles and sons in Los Angeles. She was raised Jewish. So if you're wondering about her early life, and she later converted to Christianity. And this is one of the My Cause, My Cleats, Equality Now, Just World for Women and Girls. This is an NFL thing, by the way. So, what's that to do with the NFL? But as we look into her background, let's take a look. I tried to do some research, see some interviews. I guess she's super woke, but let's see.
That's so great. I mean, you joined Activision Blizzard in 2018 as commissioner of Call of Duty Esports, and Call of Duty League launched in 2020, and you became the first female commissioner of any esports league. That's huge. I feel like this was new information for me. Like, as I was doing research and like looking into your story and background, my mind was just boggled. Like, that's so incredibly amazing. What did that moment or distinction feel like? Was there ever a time where it dawned on you the significance of being a woman leading a league like Call of Duty?
See what her response is.
It's very kind of you to say. I think you'll appreciate the fact that I did not know that was the case when I took the role. It was many moons after I'd already been in the role that somebody had said, "Hey, did you know that you're the first?" And so it did force me to pause and appreciate the magnitude of that. Again, let alone in a franchise as big and established as Call of Duty. What I think was so powerful about that was at no point, even when I was, being interviewed for the role, was that, something that was done for optics or, some overt way of trying to force a woman into this role. They just really believed as a company that I was the best person for the job, and I believed I could really do the job well. And then when I did,
so she downplays that. This girl is obviously, Melissa Yang is obviously super into social justice. That's like their whole grift. I'm sure at Refined29, where it's like, oh, fierce women, but she sidesteps that pretty well. Seems extremely talented at like not saying anything offensive. And just for some extra cringe, let's do another question here, where he tries, because I mean, you think like if she's like super social justice, she's like a people pleaser, that she would go out of her way to kind of like knock this out of the park. But this guy's going to try and set her up too.
At a fast
Let's see how
place,
she handles it.
There's a lot to be learned right there on the front lines. And, like you said, nothing goes to waste, whether it's from your athletics or your musical performance experience. At some point you can draw from that, right? And draw strength or learn, remember lessons, or maybe it helps you in a certain way. I think that's a really smart message.
Let's look at how this guy
you make the leap to the NFL. That's an amazing career move. Let's address the obvious. There's not a lot of females in the National Football League.
There isn't.
Can you talk about that from your perspective? Because I don't have that POV. Talk to me about how things are changing in pro sports. Opportunities for women. I have 2 daughters, and I'm obviously trying to do my best to raise them to be strong, independent women, critical thinkers, badasses. I want them to be awesome. But help me understand, and maybe talk about some advice to other people who are younger, might be looking at you as a role model. How did you get there? What did you do, and how did you navigate that?
Yeah, so much of it is, of course, you got to control your content, right? You got to control the controllables, as you often hear in the
control the controllables, world. Guys.
And what you can control, again, is your work ethic, the quality of your output, the deliberate rigor that you bring to anything in front of you. And so, back to your point about nothing goes to waste. Like, no job is too small, especially when you're in your 20s. I am definitely not in my 20s anymore, right? But it's not really getting caught up about like, oh, I want to be the chief fill in the blank one day, or I want to be president one day. Of course, we all, have those big aspirations, and they should guide us.
Right.
Focus on what's in front of you. Focus on who is in front of you. Like, how do you create partnerships, relationships that can make you sharper each and every year?
So she completely sidesteps that question. Like, she doesn't mention anything about being a woman. She goes on for a little while, but she doesn't really say anything like that. Control the controllables. Like, she is, from what I can tell from like all the interviews I read, like she is, it's like, there's another interview. It's just like watching a Tim Ferriss or listening to a Tim Ferriss podcast. It's just nonstop crap. Like, control the controllables. I wear many hats. I'm a bridger. I mean, it's all just like corporate gobbledygook that doesn't say anything of any significance. And I think this is kind of like what she is. I don't think if she is woke, it's totally, I can't see it, or she's just a master of hiding it. She just seems like she was brought in as a corporate person. She's 100% super corporate. I don't know. No, this is a different article. And I think that's what she was there to do. She just carrying on, doing whatever Blizzard Activision asked of her. I think really it's not a good for Blizzard, honestly, because she isn't going to turn the ship around. She's just going to keep it going to where it's going, which doesn't really seem anywhere that good. She's just there to sort of manage it and control it. And she, like I said, doesn't seem like she's going to turn it woke. I mean, it already was woke. She's not going to really dramatically change anything. If anything, she's just going to help manage its further decline. Exactly. She's just a master of saying nothing in these interviews. Just sounds good, but totally hollow. And that's, I guess that's how she excelled. She's got the right gender, color. To her credit, she doesn't really make a big deal out of it in any of these things, any of these interviews, but she says nothing of significance for, in terms of creativity and how Blizzard's going to bring things back on the up and up.